Welcome to the Hop Edition podcast, brought to you in association with The Malt Miller, your go-to choice for premium homebrewing ingredients and equipment. Whether you're a beginner starting out or an experienced brewer, The Malt Miller has got you covered. So for top quality products and customer service, jump over to themaltmiller.co.uk and tell them the Hop Edition sent you. We would also like to thank all our Patreons for their continued support with running and developing the pod. If you would like to become a member and gain access to exclusive perks and benefits, head over to patreon.com/the Hop Edition. Now it's time to get this pod started, so crack open a homebrew and enjoy the episode.
Well, we're back. Episode 109, people. We're here. And in case you haven't noticed, there's a Scouser in the room.
Check your wallets.
Yep, check your wallets. Check your cars. Still got tyres on and wheels and stuff. So, tonight we're going to be chatting to Liam Hughes, also known as Sun Bear Brewing, founder and owner. And it's in a shed, garage, upgraded shed.
Very classic, yeah.
Absolutely, mate. And he is a friend of the podcast. I remember meeting Liam at BrewCon, and we had a good old chat. Absolute top bloke. This year, as you may know, we're going to shine a light on some newer brewers. We're going to interact with some strange new accents that we've not heard before. And for those of you who are having problems, subtitles are on page 888. But other than that, Liam's there. But before we get into Liam, we're going to dig into him hard as well. I just want to say a big thanks to our partner sponsor, The Malt Miller, as he shows his glass. The premier supplier of all things homebrew. And also they cover lots of other stuff like barbecue rubs and beer and other stuff. The Malt Miller's amazing. Check the website out. They've got an amazing stock. While you're there, check out the Hop Edition section. We've got some beers on there. We're going to hit Liam up for one later, and he's going to give us one, because he's a good lad like that.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't know it yet, but that's the first time we've mentioned it. So there's some beers from other people that we've had on, some beers that we've created, and just generally beers that we've made and beers that we've managed to get. So, what have we all got in the glass? Well, we've all got the same beer in the glass, but let's say hello to Liam. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Liam.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, my name is Liam Hughes, based in Liverpool, near Liverpool, in England, in the northwest. And over the course of the past year, I've started a journey of basically creating my own brewery from a garage setting, for now at least. And yeah, I'm just having a lot of fun along the way. And for those of you who might be following me, I've obviously been documenting the entire process on YouTube and on Instagram. So, yeah.
On the whittle.
Brewed on the Whittle.
Brewed on the Whittle.
Outstanding. So, since he doesn't normally say a lot on these podcasts, Andy, tell us about the beer.
Oh, the Keller Pils. So it's, I don't know, it's a little bit muted now. I think it might be a little bit aged, Chris, would you say?
So, for the information that Andy just neglected to give you, it's a Keller Pils by Lost and Grounded.
Yeah.
When we were doing the planning meeting on Wednesday, we had a little chat with Liam, because Liam's not canning or bottling his beers yet. He's sending them out in cask, and you've got a few kegs as well, haven't you, Liam?
Yeah, kegs, pins.
Yep. So he's sending them out to local pubs, which means we couldn't get any of his beers, but we do have one.
Just one.
Yeah.
We've got one.
Courtesy of Andy.
Yep. Andy at Hoylake sent these down. Andy was supposed to be joining us, but we were having some major technical difficulties. So Andy is going to be answering questions in the chat. So, at least he's contributing. And to be fair, it was really nice to put a face to the name, because we've all either had beers from Andy or we've spoken about Andy's beers and stuff like that in the past.
Yeah, shout out to Andy.
Oh yeah, top lad. But yeah, so tell us how you came up with the name Sun Bear Brewing.
Yeah, it is to be honest, it's actually quite a common question that I've had. So my original name was Horizon Brewing. So what happened was I was using that name on Instagram and YouTube, I think, for around about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then the idea was I was shortly as I started my commercial journey, about 3 weeks prior, someone registered Horizon Brewing as a company.
Got us.
I was absolutely good. And then, to be honest, still one of the hardest challenges I've had so far in the whole brewing journey is just coming up with a name. Like the thousands and thousands of names I must have come up with. But me and my wife go to Chester Zoo a lot. I'm a big animal fan. And yeah, just the Sun Bears were my favourite. And I always wanted a name that didn't really like associate with anything else.
Yep.
A
bit different, isn't it?
Just like quite neutral. Quite a neutral name. And I was like, oh yeah, I like that. So I'll go with it. And yeah, here we are.
It's cool for the branding as well because you can use all the kind of Sun Bear sort of thing as your logo and that. So
yeah.
It's quite handy, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
For those of you listening to the audio version or listening to YouTube while you're driving along because you've paid the subscription to be able to do that, Andy just held up one of the beer mats that Liam sent us, and it is an awesome beer mat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Andy said they were sweet. I've never eaten one of mine, so I couldn't tell you if it was sweet or not. But it does look damn good. It really does.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
really
very,
nice
very
logo.
cool, man. I like that a lot.
Yeah, shout out to my cousin. He does all my design work.
Nice.
Sweet.
Nice one for that. Cheers, Jack.
Yeah. Does he have a company?
He does. Pop
Feel
Cult
free.
Printing.
There you go. Pop Cult Printing. And that's a Sun Bear. They have a tongue that's nearly 10 inches long. Do you have a tongue that's nearly 10 inches long, Liam?
Just slightly smaller.
Okay.
It's not much size.
They're very cool. They're a very cool animal.
Yeah.
Oh, they're awesome. They're actually the smallest. There's 9 different types of bears, and the Sun Bear is the smallest of all bears, which I kind of thought was quite fitting, seeing as obviously the size of my brewery is probably the smallest.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty
true,
cool.
Yeah, that's we tie up there.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea that a Sun Bear existed.
Me either
just had
until
to
I
Google it.
looked that up.
I was like, oh.
Zoological rabbit hole already, and we're only 8 minutes in here. Can see this is going to be a long one.
If they're the smallest, does anybody happen to know what the biggest is?
It's got to be the grizzly, isn't it?
Polar.
No, the polar. The
It's a
bear.
very
Polar.
specific type. It's the Kodiak grizzly, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Of all the bears, apparently Kodiak grizzlies stand slightly taller on their hind legs than a polar bear.
Jeez.
I still wouldn't fuck with any of them. I'm going to be honest.
Sounds like I'm going to need to see them fight though to decide which one wins. So.
Well, that's the weird thing. I listen to a lot of podcasts about hunting, and one of the things that they say is most bears, grizzlies included, can be scared off. But yeah, polar bears, no. Polar bears can't. They just fucking charge you and kill you and eviscerate you and then eat you because they can.
Yeah, they'll just start eating you whilst you're alive as well.
Yeah,
right?
they do. So do grizzlies as well.
Excellent.
In fact, all bears do because they have no other predator aside from other bears. So they'll just eat you while you're still alive. They just rip chunks off and eat you. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Welcome to Saturday on the Hop Edition.
Great. I just found a really great subreddit chat. Could a grizzly bear or Kodiak bear beat a polar bear in a fight? Well, I probably need to know the answer to that.
I mean, this is the question we're all asking now, isn't it?
Is that something Chester Zoo can organise for us?
Yeah.
Meh. Yeah, that's one for the future, I think.
New form of UFC.
Exactly.
So, I'm going to do the first question to move us away from bear.
No, more
versus
bear chat. More bear chat.
Okay, so Liam, you recently transitioned from amateur to pro brewer. Just let us know, what are some of the pitfalls and some of the problems that you came up with aside from the man from HMRC with the 12 rubber gloves?
that was actually one of my favourite parts. But
Typical Scouser.
oh no, I'll be honest. I've actually been planning to do this for probably from about 3 years ago. Except just the idea was just always so daunting, so scary, especially so I don't have any commercial brewery experience whatsoever. And obviously, it's one thing making it at home and giving it out to people who are like, "Oh yeah, I really enjoy this," but then to actually sell that as a product is the whole different kettle of fish. And I just spent like a lot of time telling myself I was going to do it, and then I eventually just went, you know what? It's like I either do it now or it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
So then I went down then the rabbit hole of learning everything that I had to do. And looking back now, I kind of stuck to mainly the internet. I did approach one or two brewers for advice, but certainly I think if someone else was in my position, I would highly recommend going and actually spending time at other breweries. Just volunteer your time for a day. And
because Liam, did you not do a load of training as well, like professional training, or what? Did you do any courses or what?
yeah. So, well, maybe like 2 years ago now. So there's a course you can do with the Institute of Brewing and Distilling. So you've got like your general certificate. There's four. The general certificate's like the second tier up, and then obviously like a master brewer is the fourth. So that kind of gives you like your basic qualification, and kind of with that you can essentially kind of go and get a brewer's job in a brewery. That's kind of just kind of the industry standard. So I thought I'd get that, which was really good in terms of it's a lot of background knowledge, but it doesn't really help you too much in the brew house. It's more that the course is really interesting, but it's more like why can you use malt in the brew house after it's been malted? What's the science behind malting? If you've got silos with grain, why is dust control important in conveying systems? And it's like it's just that kind of stuff, nothing that really helps you.
Health
So
and safety type, maybe a wee bit there, sort of thing. 'Cause obviously with the breathing.
And then
lungs.
I probably this time last year actually. So I came across a YouTube channel called oh my god,
You've forgotten.
the name has escaped me. Rockstar Brewer, the Rockstar Brewer Academy. So there's a gentleman down in Australia who does a load of like tips and videos for brewers, which is really, really good. And he provides a course. So it was well, for me, it was a significant sum of money, but it was certainly worth it because I think it was worth it because you're essentially learning directly from a brewer how to operate a brewery from a commercial point of view. So even just things like getting standard operating procedures in place and having them written down, to discussing things like product recall and what to do if you're ever in that situation of, like, for example, a malt supplier goes, oh no, we've had this issue with a malt, you're going to need to get it all back. Whatever you've give out, you need to, pour it away, or go to the bars and remove it from their cellars, or whatever, kind of those kind of things, not things that you don't necessarily think about. And then obviously just any other questions and hints and tips and how to make sure that you're nailing exactly what you want. Is your beer true to brand? So before I even do a recipe now, it's like I've already decided exactly what it's going to smell like, exactly what the body is, how it feels, and I have everything written down. And then I kind of work backwards from that point to the brew day.
And then at the end, I kind of go, right, is this what I was aiming
Nothing
for?
like it.
Yeah, pretty much. Which essentially what happened on my very first brew day. So my first batch was an absolute failure, and I just had to pour it away.
Yeah, we've had that.
So who were the other breweries that you've sort of worked with or got experience with or just talked to? Anyone that we would know?
So there was John at Lord's Brewing. Sadly they aren't around anymore. But I went and did some brew days with them. Did some packaging with them.
What was it? Galaxy? It was an old Galaxy beer you did with them, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then also Dan from Small Batch. Didn't really spend any time with him per se, but in terms of like getting this equipment behind me, he was a really big help for me there. And just it's not much, and I really wish I'd spent a lot more time. Basically, a lot of research.
Too late, is it, Liam?
Pardon?
It's probably not too late.
Oh no, definitely not. And like I'll be looking at collaborating a lot more with other brewers this year. Definitely.
It's one of them things, though, isn't it? It's like you can always want more experience, but occasionally, or a lot of the time, you just have to jump in and see how it goes. More to the point, and you know it's going to cost you money, but the bottom line is until you do it yourself, you don't really know. And once you've done it yourself, it's easier then to go into somewhere and just do a day with them and say, right, in your own head, how do I do this, this, and this? How do they do this, this, and this? What can I take from them? What information can I gather from them? And that's kind of the way that I'd do it if I was doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's a good way. It's a good way. So, come on then. What's your current brewery setup and what are your future plans?
So, my current brewery setup is, you can't really see it behind me, it's in like that bottom corner. So I was originally on a Brutals B150 doing 150 litre batches. Obviously, that's only about 3 casks at a time. And some of the bars that I'm selling to could literally sell that in a night. So, very quickly, I realised that I need something bigger. So on Facebook, there's like a professional brewers group. Someone was putting up for sale their pilot batch, their pilot kit. And it was a 3-vessel, 200 litre system. And they were looking for something smaller for their pilot system, which is obviously the B150 is the perfect piece of equipment for that. So I shot them a message and they were like, oh my God, that's exactly what we were looking for. And I was like, well, you've got exactly what I need as well. I was like, can we just swap? And they were just like, yeah, absolutely. So they came and dropped it off for me. I released a video a couple of weeks ago on my YouTube channel if anyone's interested about kind of swapping that over and kind of showing the kit. But essentially it's a 200 litre hot liquor tank, a double oversized mash tun, so I can get maybe around 100 kilos of grain in there, which is ridiculous for it's a 2 hectolitre kit, and then a 200 litre boil kettle as well, with 2-3 kilowatt heating elements, a centrifugal pump, and a plate heat exchanger as well. And I high gravity brew, so I can essentially I've got these 2 300 litre fermenters. So even though I only brew 200 litres, it's like super concentrated. And then I liquor it back
basically
with treated water in the tank. So I can, even though I'm brewing 200 litres, I end up with like 300 320, something like that. So that's where the brewing kit came from. These tanks I had made last year I'll be honest, I'm just obsessed with big shiny things, and I was like, I know I'm going to be stuck in here for a very long time, I at least want some kit that I'm like, just like all starry-eyed looking at, and I still am. I absolutely love them. So that's kind of where Dan, who I mentioned earlier, kind of really helped, because I was actually going to go with one supplier, but it gets quite complicated when you're trying to import equipment, and a lot of things are hidden. So like they tell you like a delivery cost, but that's actually just to get the container on the ship to the port. And then there's like, so like just to get the container off the boat is an extra charge. To get it loaded onto a wagon is an extra charge. To get it delivered is an extra charge. To get it to leave the port is an extra charge. So if anyone wanted to do that, I just recommend really, really looking into it and trying to find any customers that they've already had in this country just to see what it was like. I used a company called Brew Europe, and they essentially just sorted all that for me and delivered it to this garage.
I take it that container then had other customers' tanks in it as well then?
I assume so.
Yeah, because for you just to have a container with just the 2 tanks, that's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming they supply a lot of breweries, and I was waiting around about 4 or 5 months from ordering it to it arriving.
Cool.
So I'm assuming they must have been waiting for a few bits of kit before.
There's a lot of places in the UK that make like kettles and fermenters and stuff like that. There's a place not far from me where I used to work down there, Ravensthorpe, and they do fermenters and stuff like that. I'm assuming that you looked into the difference in price between getting one in the UK and getting one imported, and I imagine it was substantial.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured as much.
Thousands.
I think is it SSV? SSV.
Yeah. SSV. So, one thing I did actually want to bring up, just for anyone else who was in my position, who does want to start up their own brewery, every year there's a kind of a get together of all kind of like professional breweries and like just industry suppliers. It's called BeerX, and it's in Liverpool every March. I would highly recommend just get yourself down there, because you can literally talk to everyone, whether that's keg suppliers, malt, hops, yeast, equipment, financing, and anything you can think of to do with the industry. It is there, and it's and it's a great opportunity as well to kind of mix and meet everyone from the industry. And there's tons of free beer, so what's not to love?
While we're at this point, we've actually got a couple of what I think are pretty good questions that have come in. It's a surprise that they're from Brooksy. But we've got one is, do you regret, I'm joking, Brooksy, you know I love you, man. Do you regret making the leap from homebrewing to commercial, and has it taken the fun out of it for you?
Shame if it has already. Fuck. I've ruined it.
Yeah, well, it's all down here. Downhill for me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it is horrifically hard.
Yeah. Way
harder than what I imagined it would be. So, for example, last week, we'll speak about Andy in a little bit just to explain who he is. But me and Andy were cleaning from about 10 o'clock in the morning Sunday, and cleaned about 15, 16 kegs, casks, kegs, and then racked off into both of these tanks, racked out of both tanks. And then there wasn't enough time for us to actually do it all, because I then had to go and do a 12-hour shift, and my 12-hour shift started at 6 p.m. So then I was basically in the brewery for 9 hours, and then had to go and do a 12-hour shift. And like trying to juggle a full-time job with like literally, even though it's just such a tiny scale, this is essentially another full-time job.
Yeah.
Like it is so challenging at times.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is so rewarding. Just because like you go like today, I was doing a lot of running around, I was dropping off some kegs over in Liverpool for a festival, and literally it is the most amazing, most surreal feeling in the world. It makes it all worth it for me when you're sat in a pub watching other people drink your beer and enjoying it, obviously. Like it's oh, I love it. Like it just makes me dead excited. Like,
so it's not taking the fun out of it for you then.
no, well, I think the kind of how I kind of view it, like as a home brewer, kind of the experimentation is kind of the fun. Whereas on this kind of, even though it's still a very small scale, I can't really be that experimentative. That's a word. When part of the build up to me releasing my first beer, it was just talking to customers about what do they want. It's like, as a brewer, you've got to take a step back. It doesn't matter what I want to make. All that matters at the end of the day is what will they drink, because a bar only wants something that their customers wants to drink. So if I make something that's weird and wonderful, and okay, the people watching this would probably absolutely love it. If I created a double milkshake, oat cream, strawberry soured dipper, like, it'd fly down. But obviously you can't do that. So all my beers, especially when first starting out, was just like, so the Sun Bear Pale is a 3.8%, very delicately hopped with a little bit of Citra, a little bit of Strata, but it's certainly delicate. But it absolutely flies down, because not everyone is going there for these big, super big, like, amazing beers.
That beer's made with a mind to it being going out in cask as well, presumably. So that, that's a different market, right?
Yeah. So it's just nice, light, easy drinking, and it flies out. And then and then the porter was kind of designed around the same kind of theory. But it was like a bit of a test of that recipe, but we put it into a festival in October, and a couple of local bar owners tried it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's lovely. That'll sell really well. And then they got in contact with me. I was like, oh, Liam, any chance I could get some of that porter? And I was like, it was just a one-off. But then another bar messaged me saying, oh, any chance I could get some of that porter? I was like, yeah, okay. So then we had to rebrew it, and that's one of the beers we packaged the other day.
Nice.
So
that's what we're going to be drinking later, Liam.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. The second question, again from Brooksy, and it kind of ties into the equipment thing, is, have you got your money back yet on the equipment invested? And if not, how long do you think it will take?
God. Years. In all honesty. Because it's not... I don't think anyone gets into this industry for money. And if you do, you clearly don't really know anything about this industry. I've been working my butt off in this room for, best part of 8 months, and I don't even have £1,000. Like, that's just the nature of it, unfortunately. And
so you do it because you love it,
pretty much. I think like you can make money in the beer industry, but that's where volume comes in, and time. Obviously, like at the minute, these 2 tanks are sat here empty because I've just not had time to brew. I'm probably brewing on average probably twice a month. And I am looking at pushing that. But yeah, it's just a labour of love. I kind of told myself I'm not paying myself for this, and it's a hobby that's just is going to pay for itself. And like, just being able to buy myself a couple of little gadgets or whatever, like the Anton Parr thing, and just the fact that I don't have to pay for that out of my own pocket, kind of the brewery can at least buy that.
Yeah.
That's all I needed, and that's all I wanted out of it.
So basically, what you're saying is, as a home brewer, if you want to be able to not pay for it but have all the shiny shit, you should start a brewery.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, that's good. As long as I've narrowed that one down, that's.
So,
I'm gonna
brewery
stick to
money.
paying for my own shit because I don't
would.
fancy doing a brewery.
Yeah, no, just don't do it.
We've
I've committed now.
got a few more questions coming up, which I think we could probably
yes, absolutely.
slide in here. So, yeah, is there a difference between your favourite beer and favourite beer to make?
Oh, Annie. Hi, Annie. Yes, absolutely. So one of my favourite style of beer is a Czech Pilsner, and I am absolutely obsessed with just brewing lagers on my homebrew kit. That's all I ever made.
Mhm.
Sadly, though, there's just not a market for lager as a kind of craft beer brewer. Certainly on my size, where I can't really afford to have a tank tied up for like 6-7 weeks, maybe longer, compared to like the Sun Bear Pale, which is in the tank for like 11-12 days. So yeah, in a dream world, I would absolutely love to brew lagers with.
That's another one that's economies of scale, really,
Yeah.
isn't it? I guess where it's just not viable for yourself, where it's gonna render your tank unusable for over a month or whatever.
But I 100% will be making a lager this year, 100%, and I'll just have to force bars to take it.
I'm sure you won't struggle.
Could you, Leo? Could you pressure ferment in your fermenters?
Yep. These are unitanks.
Yeah. Nice.
With carb stones, sample port. So I do have the freedom. I did my first all keg batch in December, and that absolutely flew down. I think that's probably been one of the most successful beers I've done so far. There was a bar. I gave it to them on like a Monday or Tuesday. They put it on the Wednesday, and they sold out. They sold the whole keg in a night. And then like the next day, the owner was like, "That flew out, and people are still asking for it. Have you got another one?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come. I'll bring it around now." So obviously, just getting feedback like that,
That's great.
that's the feeling that you get. You're like, "Oh my god, this is so cool."
Yeah, being in demand, or that there being demand for your beer, it must be a great feeling.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do you when you keg beers, do you put it in key kegs or do you put it in?
No, 30 litre stainless steel kegs.
Okay.
There is one just behind me, but I'm all cabled up. I'll maybe show you later.
Yeah. I know the ones with the kind of centre
That's the one.
connection, with the
Yeah,
spear
yeah,
going down the middle, Very cool. Out of interest, what was that beer?
It was called Hop Revolutions. It was a New England pale. It's like a hazy pale. I'll get the recipe up now.
What was it? What was it hopped with?
So I'm just double checking. It was a Mosaic.
Galaxy.
No, Mosaic, Centennial, and Citra.
All right.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really good fun. We've had quite a fun battle because like I try and make beers sensibly and not over the top. And obviously like the Sun Bear Pale, it's only dry hopped at about 4 grams a litre. But I think this was kind of like pushing 8-9, and obviously the cost of the batch just absolutely like rocketed up. It was a bit like I was like, oh my god, Andy, this better work. I swear to God, you're gonna send me brewery under with one batch. But it was.
Was it Andy's idea then?
It was, and well, the first about 9 batches I did in the brewery were all Sun Bear Pale. So my background is operations, and I love processes. and I love process control, and like I really, really enjoy that. So I was just really happy just brewing the same beer over and over again, really fine tuning it, getting it exactly where I wanted it to be. But then I'd go back to the bars I was selling to, and like they didn't say it, but they were just like, okay, we get it, Liam. You're selling the Sun Bear Pale, but you're a craft brewery. What else are you doing? And then that's kind of where Andy came in, because Andy's like, he's such a, I think, a very well-rounded brewer, a lot of experience in like homebrew, and he's got like some of this, when he sends his beers off for judging, like he gets like 42, 43, 44 on like a good like variety of styles. So I kind of said, oh, well, do you fancy just coming around and like helping me with something new? And that was kind of the start of the relationship of kind of Andy with the brewery. And then yeah, ever since then he's been working with me on my brew days, helping me sell the beers, and he's just been a massive help. And I'm actually enjoying the brewery so much more that I actually have someone there to kind of bounce ideas off of. Obviously, unfortunately, he wasn't able to join the call tonight, but yeah, just big shout out to Andy there, because yeah.
But he is in the chat.
I
would like to know, and what I wanted to ask Andy is how close does he live to the golf course? To Hoylake?
Very, the Royal Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, about maybe in 5 minutes. Maybe that.
Nice. Well jealous to have a course of that quality that close.
It's Owen lining up a beer and golf trip here mid-pod, I think. I don't know. There might be something going on.
I'll be in touch. I hope you're a golfer.
So there's a lot of questions coming through on the chat right now. A hell of a lot of questions.
We've got a lot of people watching live tonight. I think Liam's drawn in quite a lot of those from posting up on your socials earlier that you were going to be on the pod. So appreciate that.
Well, don't tell me the numbers.
But also, if anyone's on who's new, hit the subscribe button on our channel so you'll see other podcasts as well. So grab a few extra viewers for us while you're here.
There was one question that came in, and
click the bell.
Don't do that. Actually, no, do it. But one of the things that I wanted, one of the questions that had come through was very specific to you, and it was from Crew Wolf, top bloke, absolute legend. Where can we get your beers, Liam? Have you made it to the Ship and Mitre?
So the Ship and Mitre have bought my beers. The Ship and Mitre, for those of you that don't know, is a very well-established cask pub. I mean, it's not just cask; they sell pretty much everything, and their selections are absolutely phenomenal. If you do ever come to Liverpool, go to the Ship and Mitre. It is, fantastic. But yeah, they have bought my beer. So it was actually the Ship and Mitre festival in September or October where I sold the porter. And so kind of the Ship and Mitre have kind of really helped me get a couple of new customers for the brewery. At this moment in time, where can you get my beers? So I'll stick to, over in Liverpool, there's a place called the Black Cat. They're selling it. The camera. There's a camera festival this weekend. This weekend coming. I dropped my beers off there today, so you'll be able to get some there if you have tickets. And the Black Toad in Hoylake, they literally stock every single one of my beers. Nice. Whenever I do a batch, they just take one every time. So if you do ever come over to the Wirral, head there, because no doubt it will be there.
I think you've just made somebody very happy, mate. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to skip over the beers that we're drinking, because we are all drinking the same beers. And to be fair, so's Andy. We're all drinking the same beer.
This one's going to disappear very quick if we don't talk about it soon.
Yeah. So the Keller Pills by Lost and Grounded, honestly, a little bit past its best. However, Tricky's had it before, and I've had it before as well. It is an absolute banger when it's fresh. It's a very, very good Keller Pills. This was actually Liam's choice. So yeah, good shout, Liam. It's a great beer. We've all had it before. I think it is a
Lost
banger.
and Grounded are always pretty solid as well.
Yeah,
aren't
you
they?
can't
So-
go wrong, to be fair. They
are.
do some absolute bangers. Now, the second beer that we're currently drinking is Verdant's Vanity Metrics.
It's
And just as a little bit of a reprieve from the questions, that for some reason, I don't quite understand why, but everything on my PC has just gone dark. So I've clearly clicked something that I shouldn't have done. Oh, wait there. I found it. There we go. Right, we're back. We've got a bit more light. This thing is just thick with 12 C's. 12 C's. Okay, this is a thick beer, and it is beautiful.
That is boss.
It's not as in your face as I was expecting it to be, but
I'm sure that Reiki was raving about this beer at one point.
He probably was.
Yeah.
I think the malt miller's actually listening to us. I assume that is Stiffo. This new hop, NZH 101. I need me a kilo of that.
I've had it in other beers, and it's been. It was a little bit more of an aggressive kind of flavour than this, but it's so juicy and smooth in this beer. It's unreal.
Yeah, that's going to last about 4 minutes.
I remember Reiki banging on about it when we had him on. Might have been for the Advanced Hop Product
Yes.
podcast.
This is just
and
one
he was talking,
hop.
and I think
Yeah.
It's all
Vernon
one
had
hop.
just
Hot side and
released
cold
it.
side. Immense.
And I think I bought a 6-pack of it and had it pretty fresh, and it was really good.
It's a banger of a beer.
When I spotted on there, I was like, yes, we need to get that.
I was thinking this is a blend of hops because it's bringing so much, all different kind of flavors.
Yeah, it's a pretty
through.
complex flavour, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely New Zealand because you're getting that high lime note, aren't you? But then
Yeah, it
there's,
says
There's lots of lime.
aromas of
Yeah.
lime, ripe mandarin, melon, and tropical fruit.
I'll be honest with you, this beer's having a hard job cutting through the amount of garlic I've had this evening for my tea. But it is managing it, which means it's a good beer. I love this. The lime note just sits on top, and then there's a tangerine note that's underneath it, and then I'm getting straight mango. I don't know about you guys. It's just bosh, 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 and it just sits there like citrus fruit salad. It's gorgeous.
oh, it's
There's definitely a fruit salad, chewy, sweet
Man.
note to it, isn't there?
That's just beautiful.
It's gorgeous, that.
Bordering on bongo type
Yeah.
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah.
Subtle
definitely.
on bongo. Good beer that.
well executed.
Andy, turn your microphone up and move your fucking skinny ass closer.
Me?
Yeah. He likes the fact that I just called him skinny. What nobody else knows is he's auditioning for the lead part in Philadelphia 2 next.
Yeah.
Move close to
there
your
you go.
microphone, bud.
The
that better?
advantage is he could move 50% faster as well.
Yeah.
That's only so he can climb, because he couldn't drag his pudgy ass up a boulder. That's what it was.
Like a rat up a drain pipe these days.
Yeah. It is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous beer, and I'm very glad that I got to share it at the time I was drinking it with 5 awesome people. So, yes, that's good. And
That's good.
Tricky's here as well.
Very heartfelt.
No, it wasn't. It's just 'cause I wanted to abuse Tricky with his scabby face.
Thanks for
Nice
that.
setup.
It's all good. So how come you managed to get into these pubs? Did you ring round them? Did you phone them in? Did you?
So, actually, Andy again, with the Black Toad, at least, he spoke to the owner, kind of on my behalf. I didn't actually know he was doing this at the time. He just kind of told the owner about my brewery, and he was just really supportive. And to be honest, it's especially when you're only selling 3 casks like I was when I was starting out. Literally every bar wants to support a new brewery. So that's the one fantastic thing. Everyone that I've spoke to just give me a chance straight away. I am yet to go to a bar, ask if they want to buy beer, and to be told no. Every single person that I've spoke to, approached, they've just gone, oh yeah, absolutely. And like, so I don't know if it'll be like that everywhere, but it's certainly like that on the Wirral and around Liverpool. It's
Do you think that's partly them being supportive of new breweries, but also maybe the novelty of beers from new breweries that people haven't seen are going to be good sellers potentially for them?
Oh
or-
yeah,
yeah.
sure.
Now, I want to jump in here because I've got a question, because I know that you do pins, because you told us that you do pins.
Yes.
Right? So, let's say, for example, somebody who lived close to the Wirral, who was willing to drive, who had a hand pull at home and wanted to get a pin of your beer, assuming that they paid, obviously, the full going rate so that you could cover your taxes with HMRC, would you be willing to sell it to them?
Sadly, I couldn't, because I don't have a personal alcohol license. So, when you register as a brewer, you have something called an AWRS license, which is like alcohol wholesaler. So I have that license that says that I can sell to those with a personal alcohol license. And a personal alcohol license means that you can then sell to the public. So until I get one of them, I can't sell directly. But I don't know. I suppose I
would
could.
include cans as well then.
Yes. I at this moment in time, I could only sell to bottle shops.
Right, okay.
So if you own a bottle shop and you want a pin of Liam's beer and you're close to the Wirral, you can get one. I'm just thinking, because to be perfectly honest, there's always guys who are like doing parties and whatnot, and if there is...
but it's getting that pin back, Chris.
Yeah, but
That's the problem.
it shouldn't be too difficult. You put it in the boot of your car and you drive it back to the Wirral.
And then how long do they take to drink the pin? You know what I mean? If it's... Nah, whereas a pub would just fly through it and then you get it back.
Oh. Yeah,
It's
true.
How long does it take for you to get your casks back, Liam?
It completely varies. Sometimes I can have it back in a week.
Yep.
Sometimes I could be waiting 3-4 weeks.
Right, jeez.
And so, I'm very much approaching this kind of podcast for those that kind of want to start their own brewery at some point.
Yep.
Whatever you think you need, like times that by 4. Like the amount of casks I have down the side of the house is ridiculous. I found a brewery that was closing down and hired a van, drove to the brewery and literally filled like about 36 casks in the back of this van and just lashed them all down the side of the house. So I've got like a stock there now.
Nice.
If I ever do need them. But I've also experienced it. Well, so like they're kind of like the free ones. This one's full. A bit heavy. So like you've got pins like that.
Yeah, it looks new.
Yeah, so like I paid to basically get a load of branded ones. So like the kegs and the pins are branded, but like the full size casks are just from all the breweries. When they go missing, that's painful.
Yeah.
Because like they cost like £90 each. Or something. I've fucked off the top of my head. It's probably a little bit cheaper, but I've had a keg go missing, and it's like I'm making tiny amounts of money as it is, and then when one of them goes, you're just like, oh my god, like
Just
it's a killer.
All the money in that.
But it's part of. It's just part of the process, I guess.
That's why you could just go and chase around all the old breweries that are shutting and just pick them up on the cheap.
Yeah.
I'm putting this comment up because I don't know if it's true or not. Ron Muir, who knows a thing or two because he's coming on our podcast pretty soon, he says it's not a personal license, it's a premise license that you need to be able to sell to Joe Public. Now, is that because you want to sell them the beer on your premises?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah, like if I wanted to sell bottles online, it's a personal alcohol license I'd need.
Right.
But maybe I haven't looked into it.
Teddy
Ron,
says
Ron's
there's
probably
another
right.
one. Teddy says that personal alcohol license isn't very expensive, and only a day course with a test at the end.
Okay, I spoke to someone and I believe it was like in the region of like £800-900
Okay.
or something like that.
But you're not at that. You're not even thinking of that anyway. Just now,
No.
it's more.
Yeah.
You're easily selling what you're brewing, and it's straight to pub.
Yeah.
That's not going to make
Yeah.
a big difference to your like sales anyway, is it? It's
You
not
don't.
really
You don't
worth
add
it.
in another day of canning. Really?
Yeah, and that's what the issue is for me.
Yeah.
And I do want to do canning. I've got the duo filler. I've got the can seamer. I've got empty cans. I've got the labeler. I've got all the equipment. I just haven't got round to seeing how I'm gonna incorporate that into.
Yeah, because you're
Well,
My
it's
plans
extra
and-
brews, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
extra brews. That's what it comes down to. It's
Yeah.
more money out your pocket making beer that might take 2 months to sell.
Yeah.
But if you
Yeah.
do go down that route, Liam, let us know. I'm sure there's a lot of people listening to this podcast who would quite happily grab some beers off you if you just knocked up a quick online store.
Definitely.
Maybe.
You know,
If
fuck,
I
I'd
can
buy
squeeze
some.
it in.
I'd buy some.
It's
Thank
one
you.
for the future, I think.
Yeah.
See, when you go into a bigger premise, like you say, if it, when it grows,
Yes.
then it's something. Then that there's a bit of growth there. in
They'll
a
wait
small
for the
pack.
demand for it as well,
Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
People, there's that many people asking you, then you'll know it's the right time to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Can we do a few quick fire questions? Because as we said
Go,
before, there's a
Tricky.
lot of them like stacking up in the chat. But
Yeah.
if you want to just sort of fire back quick answers on some of these. So, would you consider going down crowdfunding route? I guess this is maybe later down the road to expand.
At this moment in time, no.
No, cool.
No, it's just
Um,
my brewery it's mine, and I can do what
Yeah.
I want. Like if I don't want to brew, I don't have to. But if I do,
And,
it's just small little things that just add pressure.
Yeah, fair enough. And Mark Colwell,
Yeah.
yes, I did notice, and I'm sure that Liam would never consider making a pseudo lager for one of his
No.
lagers. No,
Not
good,
happening.
right answer.
Don't be too hasty
Brooksy,
on that one, Liam.
we didn't do this one already, did we? Brooksy says, "Do you wish you bought a bigger system so you could recoup the costs faster?"
Yes, 1,000,000%. But
Yeah.
not so I could recoup the costs faster. So the issue that I had with the 150 litre kit is that just very quickly I outgrew it.
Yeah, sure.
The advice that brewers gave me was whatever you think you need, double it. So if you think you need 150, go 300. If you think you need 500, go to 1,000. And I couldn't agree more. I
Yeah.
wish I'd got kind of at least the size kit that I've got now, just straight away, because at least you can, if you go right, I'm just starting off. I'm only gonna make 3-4 casks of beer. Well, I might have a 300 litre brewing system, but you don't need to brew 300 litres.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
You can just brew smaller batches. These unit tanks, I made sure that the cone was jacketed, so I could temperature control. So I only need to half fill these tanks and I can use them.
Mhm.
So that was kind of part of the planning.
Because you were doing that at the start as well, weren't you?
Yeah. So like the B150, I'd have to brew twice
Yeah.
to kind of remotely get the kind of the beer level to there.
And I
on
mean,
the
I
tanks.
assume your your brewing process is really not going to be much different in time wise between 150, 300, or probably even bigger than that. It's much
No,
the
not
same.
hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about 8 hours
So yeah.
all in.
Cool.
Just before you jump in,
go on.
very important question from Dylan at Braggedy Batch. And he says, are you a red or a blue, Liam?
Obvious. I'm a red.
There you go. That's why he's on the podcast, because if he was a blue, he wouldn't be.
Was it obvious, so Liam? How do you tell?
Controversial.
I know, that's shocking.
I'm happy.
Good answer.
Never walk alone, son. You'll never walk alone.
Yeah, but Liam, your
Love
missus
that.
is a blue, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah. In fact, all of her side.
So, talking about never walking alone, would you ever
Yeah.
go into business with other brewers to support their
Fucking hell, that was a
labour hours and
beautiful
equipment?
segue. That was a beautiful segue.
So would I ever what? Sorry.
So, would you ever go into business with other brewers to support with labour hours, equipment costs, and demands, etc.? That one's from Dan C in the chat.
Ooh. Do you know what? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I guess that's also a question of whether that's a sort of regular collab type thing or more of a permanent.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Sort
I wouldn't
of,
say no to like
yeah.
any opportunities if we looked at the details, and because like if there was like another person exactly like myself who was operating from a garage and came to me and said, "Do you want to go halves on a unit?" I'd probably.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say no. I think my long term goal is to get a unit,
Yeah.
a small unit, but and then I think if I could get to a point where I could afford to hire one person who can just manage it the day to day, and then obviously I'll be there to heavily assist.
Yeah.
And be there a lot of the time, but just to take off a little bit of the pressure and that kind of thing. I think that's my dream. I think just a tiny little brewery, a little tap room, and I can just have fun and enjoy myself.
Self-sustaining kind of. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sideline / hobby. That would be
Yeah.
cool. A very specific one from Brooksy. You were his Secret Santa a few years back. Do you still have the folder as an ongoing project?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do. So I think that beer is now 3 years old.
You did promise me a bottle, Liam. I know that I
did.
got one.
I did. Again, it's just time to
Just drop that one in there.
Yeah. No. So
It's a Solera.
That's going to be a
Yeah,
difficult sell to the local cask pubs as well. isn't it?
so in case anyone doesn't know, a foda is just essentially just like a large wooden barrel
Yeah.
that we store beer in, except it's got some of the
Like
fittings that I
clamp all
have on this tank at the side of me. So it's got a little sample port, and it's got like a stainless steel dump valve at the bottom and a racking arm. Except I've then turned that into a Solera project.
Yeah.
And what a Solera is basically it's a 40-liter container, so I'll take off about 19 liters, but then I'll brew another sour beer and then blend that in.
Yep.
And then when that keg runs empty, I'll remove that, brew another one, and fill it up again. So essentially, you're just constantly blending.
Yeah.
Beers.
It was you doing that got me into doing the same with the cask, the big wooden barrel I've got, and then I just fitted the tri-clamp stuff myself. Obviously, you'd bought that. It was the American one, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's the one I've got is made of American white oak.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was made by Foda Smith, which I don't believe are trading anymore. So
No,
as far as I'm
that's
aware,
good.
I'm the only one in the country with one.
You spent a lot of money on that, getting
Cool.
it imported in, didn't you?
Maybe.
We'll come on to the equipment cost later. That is on the,
because what I heard there was the wife doesn't know. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Although she's watching
You
this
might be
probably,
on
so
something.
just drop me in. Cheers, Andy.
She
Thank you.
thinks it was 200
Sorry.
quid.
It was 50 quid, and he swapped it for a pair of nail clippers.
Yeah. I made that out of the pallets of wood.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Oh, I got
So
a quick question, Liam, just about the photo, just to pause on that a second. Do you always brew the same sour beer recipe and blend it in? Or
Yes, it's always a Berliner Weiss. Except just because I love the subtleties in beer, kind of hence why I really enjoy my lagers. So I did kind of contemplate making like a cherry sour and throwing that in, but then I was just like, well, oh yeah, there's the wife.
Definitely no.
Sorry, love you.
So congratulations on your recent wedding as well, by the way. I loved the pictures. I thought they were great.
Oh, nice one. Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I just because I like the subtleties, and like I really want to discover kind of where those flavors go over the years. And I feel like if I was to put anything with like significant character in, it might kind of hide it and kind of defeat the whole point.
Yeah, I would agree. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll in the next week or two, I'll package some up and I'll send you some out.
Oh, cheers, Liam. I'd love to try it. How many different beers are in it at the minute?
like 7,
7.
Oh wow. Okay.
something like
I
that.
think
And the oldest being 3 years, did you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
it's
'cause
essentially like
the
a
last time I
Gers,
saw
but just
you'd refilled it for the first time. I think was the last one you put up your YouTube, possibly.
yeah. Do you know what? I don't actually think I've touched it since I uploaded that video.
Right,
So
okay.
I'd have
Is
to
it-
go back and
Is it
see how-
youtube.com/Sunbear Brewing?
Yeah, if you put
I
Sunbear,
assume so. Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
search Sunbear Brewing, you'll get them. Yeah.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it, guys. Go search. Let's get Liam at least another, I don't know,
Well,
12, 13 subscribers. Let's do it.
I'll post the link in the chat as well.
You
so
do
people
that,
can-
Owen, because you're
I
awesome
am
like
an
that.
avid
Mind you.
watcher of his channel. If you hadn't guessed, so
Yeah,
I just subscribed, Liam. So
Oh, nice one. Cheers, Owen.
That's one new subscriber for you.
I don't know how to
long time
subscribe.
subscriber viewer here, Liam. Obviously.
Same.
I don't know how to subscribe, otherwise I would. So yes, guys, my glass is empty, so we need to get a next
wow.
beer on the shot.
Already on it.
Fucking
Is
hell.
that the,
We
is
go
that the
brew-
next
yeah, is
verdant
it?
beer?
I'm
Going
sitting here. I'm in the dark, right? I'm sitting here.
even
I'm going,
more New
why is
Zealand
everything
hoppage.
so dark? And then I've remembered I've forgotten to do
forest.
this. There we go.
That
Turn my
helps.
friggin'
Whoa.
light on.
No,
yeah.
turn it off again.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
yeah, we've had enough of that. Is there a dim function?
There is, and unfortunately, you're taking all of it. You thick twat.
Savagery. While everyone's
myself
topping
up
up
for
the
that.
glasses,
I'm
Few more
sorry, Owen.
quick-fire
That was well
questions.
harsh.
Well, it was a bit of back
was a
and
bit-
forth.
it was a bit
It's-
savage, but-
it's-
I think there are a few questions you've already answered. To be fair, so the small pack we've kind of covered that. Not at the moment. You did mention a tap room, so our good friend David Goddard is a tap room in the plans further down the road. I think you said ideally yes.
Imaginary plans.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I think really all I'm focusing on this year is just maximize the space that I've got,
Yeah,
and then take it from there. Try and build up the funds a little bit. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I am sorry, Owen. That
is
was well
gonna be-
harsh.
Is that? No, I didn't take it badly. Is it going to be out on the driveway of your dad's gaff?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get a
it
few
might
wooden
just get to that
tables.
point.
Yeah.
Or just start to just selling from the house.
Yeah.
Hopefully the-
Like
hopefully the
people
neighbours
just-
will be
people
down with
knocking
that.
The front door to leave.
Is
Yeah.
this why you brew at your dad's garage? Because then you can actually say it was brewed on the Wirral.
No, I do live in the Wirral. I only live
Oh,
like 5-10 minutes down the road.
Right,
It's a big fucking
That's
place,
sort
is
of
the
shit.
Wirral.
Because I think in the planning call, Liam, you mentioned that you'd actually just bought a house and it was all. You've got a full renovation project as well ahead. Whew.
Yeah, I just decided.
busy.
There isn't
Why not?
enough on my plate.
Yeah.
I reckon you should have a couple of kids as well, Liam. Just fit that in.
Owen, I'm
Twins.
writing this down.
Do twins. Do twins,
Yeah,
mate. Right
definitely.
from the off.
I'm
Just
sure
literally
you'll,
fuck everything up. Just go
We'll
with
see
twins.
Liam in 2 years' time when he comes back on the podcast. He'll look like he's about 85.
He'll look
Yeah,
as old as
exactly.
Tricky.
If you thought the brewery was stressful, Jesus, just wait. Mate.
At least in the brewery, I can just turn the lights off and walk away.
Liam, have you got this in a glass?
Yeah, I've got a little diddy.
Oh,
Take it.
mate, this is a banger.
What do you call it? The root beer?
Sit
This.
for Motueka. Whoa.
Whoa.
So
And a
this
bit
is
of
a
a whacker at the
collab.
end as well.
This is a
That's
collab.
Verdant.
Verdant and Dos Kiwis. This is a great beer. Go to the malt miller right now. Buy. Oh, you can't. We bought
That
it
is
all.
good. Yeah,
But
sorry
you
about
should
that.
find this and you should drink this because this is absolutely amazing.
I think it's still on
Yeah.
Verdant's website. I doubt it. They
That's possible.
they
No,
clear
I
through
would've
stuff
thought
really
so.
quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Dos Kiwis, where are they? Are they Spanish?
I don't know. Mark Colwell says, have a kid, but if you really want to screw things up, move house at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it.
It's true.
Yeah. I honestly, I don't know how my brain can't even comprehend being in that situation when I get the keys. But it's just, I'll deal with it when.
Yeah.
To be
That's
fair,
the
mate, it
Yeah,
sounds
no,
like
it's-
you've got a very supportive wife who's going to, get in there as well. So
Oh, I know.
So-
Emily's absolutely fantastic. absolutely fantastic. Like the amount of times that she runs around, just picking up empty casks, cleaning casks for me, and all that kind of stuff. I'd struggle to do it without her, to be honest.
You need to pay her as well. You know that.
Yeah, well,
Behind every great
Maybe.
woman
Pays
is
her with the joint
homebrew
account. That's
obsessed
how he
man
pays her.
with a
Chris.
microbrewery.
God, this is good.
That's it.
This is such a good beer.
So, fun fact.
lovely.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Dos Kiwis Brewing's based in Spain, and they're based in the town of Rupia.
Oh, there we
Wow.
go.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
So, bit of a namesake brew.
God,
Do
that
they,
ain't gonna
do they
last
have a
long.
New Zealand connection? I mean, I would think so with the
I wouldn't
branding.
have thought so, being
Yeah.
based in Spain.
Well, no,
They
it's just Dos Kiwis, and they've got the little logo there. It's got the
I wonder if the owners are like
Kiwis.
Kiwis,
Maybe.
Kiwi
and they've
birds.
moved to,
might
maybe
be
the
Kiwis
owners are
based in,
Kiwis and
based
they've
in
moved.
Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll check out their website,
yeah.
see if I can find out. They're fairly nice, fairly near Girona.
savage.
I have
Yeah.
to say, I didn't say it.
I mean,
I thought
Yes.
I was expecting
Yeah.
the heat tonight for
Coming-
being
coming
scoused.
out.
coming
So
straight out the
it
chat
says-
with
what
a
was it?
meth head.
The problem
Given
with
all
it
the
is
scabs is
it's
checking
so
out
mesh.
head. That's why we're all laughing.
It's so Moorish. It's so Moorish.
I've heard those rumours. So yeah, the next question, which you've already covered, was setup costs and everything. So you've kind of covered them. But if you want to give us numbers, feel free. I'm pretty sure that we talked about this one on the
Yeah.
planning.
Yeah. So, well, the brew tool system that I originally bought, I bought that second hand. So that was about $3,500.
Wow.
But that was like for all the add-ons. I think if you were to buy all that new, it's about 4.5. Obviously, I then traded it for the equipment that I have now. The tanks, for both tanks, including shipping, was just over 7,
Nice.
I think. Yeah, just over 7,000 British pounds. So about, I don't know what that equates to in US dollars, probably $9,000, $8,000. Double it for the Australians. I think they're the main costs. I think you could kind of make a huge list of all the things that I bought, like the Anton Par thing. That was like, I forget the price of that now. It was what, like $350 ish, something, £350. Like, I ordered a couple of fittings the other day. That was £100 just for some RGT fittings.
Oh, that stuff adds up.
Yeah, it does.
Rapid.
Like, yeah, I need to order malt. So like every time you order malt, that's £700-800. Hops, I need to order soon. That's £400-500.
Where do you go for all that?
So my first malt order was with Crisp.
Yep.
And it really good malt. No issues whatsoever. This time I'm going to order with Simpsons.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to see how I get on with Simpsons malt.
Cool.
And plus, I think because we've kind of ventured into the kind of the hazy beers, I also want to, obviously, I think me and Andy want to start using like Golden Promise
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. And
Such a
I
sweet
need to order some Vitamin for my lagers
malt. Really?
or lager.
So that's one bag, 125 kilo bag. That's £700 or £800.
Yep.
Yes. It's going to be a really expensive batch.
Yeah, that's expensive stuff, is the Vehemans.
Yeah.
Chris Lager malt. Job done.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
don't do that to yourself, Jesus.
It's about £19, I think.
Yeah,
for
that's
a
sweet.
25
That's-
kilo bag.
Or job ruined, alternatively. Yeah.
That's the one fantastic thing about running a small brewery is kind of getting access to
Cheaper
trade
malt,
prices.
Yeah.
So I can get like 5 kilos of
You
hops.
just need to, but you just need to order a
Like
pallet. You need
130
to order
quid.
you need to spend 700 quid
Oh.
to get that
Yeah, yeah.
privilege.
Guys, Guys, cheap note from Ron Muir. If anybody's looking for an Anton Par, you get 15% off using Brew15, the Brewlosophy code, and apparently it works in the UK. So if you're daft
Bargain.
enough to buy one of them,
Bargain.
go for it. You can get it for 320
exactly.
quid.
I think I'll stick to my £15 hydrometer.
Every little helps.
Yeah. My 10 quid refractometer on the case.
Talking about
you
buying
get yours for free.
floor mounted Pilsner, well, that is a little secret. I'm pretty sure it's Warminster do a floor mounted Pilsner.
Yeah.
They do.
Yes,
yeah.
they do.
Which is
For Utopia.
That was a
significantly-
Utopian, yeah, connected.
With
Yeah.
Utopian, yeah. Which
I'll
I
give it a
have
shout.
been using. And whilst I would say it's not quite fireman,
Okay.
the price difference, I would say, probably makes it worth it.
Yeah.
I've heard incredibly good things about the Vehmans floor malted stuff. I've had their floor malted
Vehmans?
Marisotta.
No,
Sorry,
you said
Warminster.
Warminster.
I've had their floor malted Vienna. I've had their floor malted Marisotta. And I have to say, I don't have a single bad thing to say about Warminster in any way, shape, or form. Their malts are legit.
Banging malt.
I need to
Very,
buy
very
more of their
good.
stuff, to be honest, because I've
Yeah,
used them
I've
a couple of
not-
times and it's
I've not
always
tried
been
them out.
great.
There you go.
Great
Yeah, they're
efficiencies,
amazing.
great flavour.
From memory, bear in mind that these are like homebrew, sort of malt miller costs. I think it was 45 quid a sack.
Yeah.
The first time I bought their floor malted Marisotta, it cost me, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could go back through my orders and check. I think it was 17 quid a sack. It was on special.
Wow.
Yeah, it's £46 22 for 25 kilos of the Utopian Warminster Czech style lager malt.
It's great. It's great.
If you were to stick to one maltster, who would you stick to?
Like Simpsons.
Simpsons,
Vehement.
yeah.
Oh, no, you can go wrong with Warminster, to be
I'd
honest.
be Vehement.
I'd be Vehman because for me, I don't.
I mean,
really
if I was
give a shit
making
how much it
lagers
costs.
exclusively, then yeah, maybe, but
Yeah.
No,
I kind of need a little bit more diversity.
I want some sweet.
Yeah, your choice are floor malted or smoked.
yeah.
Make an IPA.
Although the weird thing
essentially-
is, I'm like 12 miles. I don't think I'm even 12 miles. I think I'm probably 7 miles as crow flies from Fawcett's. So I should really use them to reduce the food miles. But yeah, I'd still stick with Vehemans.
Because I'm gonna have to now sweat. Because I was using Pops, but Crafty Monsters are obviously gone now. So
Yeah, they're gone, mate.
I'll need to
Sad
switch back
times,
to
yeah.
Simpsons. Sad times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. That was such an awesome podcast that we had with her. Just the insight was amazing, and to hear they've shut the doors on their malting was
I think
Yeah.
they've just like
mothballed it.
mothballed it. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
odd. They're just too busy.
That's a shame. That was a really good podcast, Liam. If you've not listened to it, go and have a listen to the one that we did with Crafty Maltsters. Alison from the Crafty Maltsters. What a podcast. Short,
Yeah.
sweet, to the point. All the info. Great podcast.
She was wonderful.
Yeah, I'll check it
Yeah.
out.
She was
Yeah.
brilliant. She was brilliant. So, any collabs coming up? Anything that you've hooked up? Anything that you want to hook up?
Yeah, so for those who are into kind of BrewTube, Andy from Four Priests, I think we're looking around the kind of the middle of March. I'm going to go over to his brewery, make sure we record loads of content. Obviously, we'll try and keep everyone in the loop as much as we can, and then I'm dragging Andy to my small brew kit, and we're going to attempt to make. I think we want to go for like a Teg and C Hellers copy, just because that is up there with
Nice.
one of my favorite lagers.
Yeah.
And I know it's his because he orders it to save it at his taproom.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so I figured whilst it's probably like a really good time, just personally when thinking about like buying this house and stuff, I'm going to be tied up a lot. So probably it's a really great time to be making lagers. Whereas I don't need to stress as much about just leaving it in the tank for ages. And if I don't get round to coming back here for 2 weeks, it's not the end of the world.
I think also, like, commercially, Liam, like, scarcity sometimes can play to your advantage, particularly if you've built a base of bars, and even punters that go into those bars really enjoy your beer. Sometimes scarcity can kind of
absolutely
drive demand.
Yeah, absolutely. You get, as we've just seen with putty, everyone tries to get their hands on it as soon as possible. I don't think I'm that popular yet.
The one that comes to mind for me is like Emperor's Brewery's got that sort of cult following. Where it's
Emperor's
very small.
definitely,
Sure. That's certainly like what he played off. I mean, it was the quality of the beer in the first instance, but the inability to get it definitely drives that like hype.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was chatting to David Goddard that we had in the last podcast, and he was saying there's a guy pretty local to Southampton that does really small batch mega impies that's like rated even higher than Emperors and Damien.
So why don't we have the name?
Well, I've got his name, but I'd never heard of him, and he's literally like, as the crow flies, probably about 1.5 miles from my house.
Well, you need to get the link to his fucking shop in the chat right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
who knows? I'll tap up.
Get him on a pod, man.
Davey G.
Get him on a pod. Mike from Breakbeat. Sounds good. Let's do this.
Except apparently a lot of his MPs are like 14%. David said he's got one MP from him that's like 20% or something.
What?
Fuck it,
Jesus.
let's go. We'll have 4 pints of that on a pod. Let's do it.
That's just a liqueur at that point.
Yeah,
Totally,
that's got beyond beer and into something entirely different.
Davey G says it's 21.
Oh my god.
He loves the pod too.
Let's do this. Hit him up. Davey G, get in touch with him. Get an email address for me. I will tap that bloke up.
Is Owen not better because he's just down the road and they can go round to his house?
That's true.
Go
Owen, make it happen.
Give him a chat. Yeah, I'm surprised I've never met him, but there you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
21%.
Another interesting one. Well, I was on Untapped the other day, and just looking at what the top beers were, and literally like the top 30 beers were just all 14%, 15%, 16%. I've never looked before.
Yeah.
Just out of interest, it's just everyone just really seems to.
They're all really alcoholic. They're all barrel aged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hardcore. That is a weird one. Seeing reviews go up online of your beer.
What's anything? What's that been like then? What have they been saying? Or
obviously, everyone is absolutely entitled to their opinion, and
but they're wrong.
there's some untrained palates. There's some trained palates.
Yeah.
No. In all fairness, I've not really had any bad reviews at all. If anything, they've been.
Wait until I get one of your beers.
Yeah, nice one. Cheers, mate. But it does like it's really. I know it's not really particularly useful in terms of like structured feedback, but it's really good to kind of get the gist of how the public is taking it. And kind of like, oh, that works, or okay, maybe that one hasn't really worked, or what's kind of interesting is like there's customers at certain bars that seem to post more than others, or like you'll deliver the exact same beer to 2 different bars, but one beer will absolutely fly out and the other one doesn't, just because like the clientele's a little bit different. And then I'm kind of finding out now, like I've got to learn who my customers are, the bars that I'm selling to, what would work well for them. And then it's just kind of building that relationship with the kind of local bars has been like really cool.
I'm just reading actually. I'm on Untapped and reading them, and they're all like, oh, super delicate, juicy, really nice, soft, like well brewed. Like they're all raving. It's all.
Yeah,
soft,
it's really good
citrusy,
feedback.
delightful
I
delicious
definitely
beer.
will not complain at
Yeah,
my
yeah.
Untapped reviews. Like,
The way you were saying there, I thought they were slating you or something, but no.
Oh, no,
they
no.
all love it.
Yeah, you should take pride in that, mate. Absolutely.
The bottom
Looks
line
good.
is, and I can say this with very much confidence, if the people who are drinking your beer like your beer, then with the greatest respect, Liam, you're fucking doing something right, mate.
oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
literally, when you're a commercial brewery, that is literally the only thing that matters.
Yeah, 100%.
So, keep doing what you're doing, because if people are loving it, then keep doing what you're doing, mate.
Yeah. I will. I'll keep it up.
Just one small point that I want to sort of touch on, and it's a very small point, and the other three guys who are normally on the podcast, you can jump in and you can comment here. We've had a request from one of our Patreons to apparently we need to factor in toilet breaks for the podcast. No. That's my opinion.
No.
What do you reckon?
I think. Listen, we're not going to hear you if you take us, to the toilet with you.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
or here's an idea: Bluetooth headphones and pack it in whinging.
That's a great
another
job,
one.
Chris.
Or
That's a
just
great
hit
job.
pause. You can just
Or-
pause us.
No. Bucket.
You get
Stick
the
Bucket.
advantage of.
Bucket.
bottle under the table, just or just piss yourself. Like there's the pod's more important.
I'll be honest.
Priorities,
It's Brett. You do that most weeks anyway. Crack on.
Brett needs a
I'm joking.
shoey.
You don't. But
Yeah, he's wearing a nappy anyway. Don't worry about it, Brett. Just fucking crack on, mate.
I thought it was a catheter.
I've got images of what was that comedy show in the 90s with
Men behaving badly.
the dude that used to play the drums.
Phil Collins.
Little Britain.
Not Little
yeah.
Britain. The guy from Little Britain used to be on the comedy show.
God, the 90s is far too long ago.
Thingy Stars or something like that.
Oh.
Shooting
Shooting stars, shooting stars, stuff from above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
sorry.
you saying Brett looks like him or what?
Well, he might do. I remember him like wearing a nappy at one point. That's the image that I got. Sorry, Brett.
There you go. Wait there. Oh, wrong one. Yeah.
Brutal.
So the Wi-Fi upstairs apparently is as weak as his blood.
Good analogy.
God, we love you, Brett. You take
right,
the
Brett.
you take the
Wedge.
ribs with so much fun. Yeah. Right then, I'm gonna minimise Discord. He's done it in his pants. Well done. So one thing that I was interested to talk to you about was cleaning. So how much of your time roughly is spent cleaning?
Put it this way, I got to the brewery today at midday, and I was cleaning up until about 7 o'clock
Wow.
tonight. Stripping these tanks down,
Yeah.
causticing the heat exchanger.
As a percentage of your time
God,
that you're
like-
doing, like what do you think it is realistically?
75%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
I like.
It's
well,
brutal.
it's actually probably way more than that. I think one of the biggest issue I have at this moment in time is cask cleaning, keg cleaning, because I don't have an actual keg washer.
Yeah.
At the minute, I've got like essentially like a modified bucket blaster,
Yeah.
and it takes forever. And like I'm really, really picky, and if I,
You have to be though.
yeah,
Well,
basically before I even caustic wash anything, I'll rinse it and I'll just jet wash it until it is gleaming. Then I'll start caustic.
Yeah. I got a bit of insight into that when I was doing the brew with what's it called? I fucking
Brew
forgot the
Point?
name of them now.
Brew
No,
Point.
it was the other one in on the beer mile. That's embarrassing. The one right at the start. What's that fucking called?
The one with the elephants as the
Yes,
emblem.
yeah. You know who I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
Relevant.
the guy was cask washing pretty much all day, and it was like jet washer kind of spraying it around inside, and then it was going on the cask washer, and then there was still some that were kind of like, you're looking inside it going, oh, there's still some like weird looking like insect eggs and shit in there and things like that, and it was like, yeah, so like the amount of time just even like inspecting them after you've washed them out and all the rest of it, and I was like, and how many of these you doing? Like there's like hundreds of casks going through to do that. So
and Andy's got it in the chat, Southwark.
Yes.
Southwark. Yeah. Nice one, Andy.
The thing about cleaning casks, it's literally a full-time job.
Yeah.
Cleaning
the
casks
assistant
is a
brewer was
full-time job.
basically doing that pretty much all day.
Yeah.
With just a few moments of like, oh, I'm going to go and chuck some malt into the mash tun. The rest of it was all.
But that's what it is. It's like you have to make sure that each of those casks is sparkling before you put anything in it. And like you say, one single insect egg, all of a sudden, boom, you've got an infected cask and you've got issues, because you'll get a shout from the pub. Is this beer supposed to be sour? No, it's not supposed to be sour, mate. Oh shit! And it's one of those situations. And the commercial cask washers with the spray ball in it, they don't do fuck all. They don't clean anything. You have to get a steam cleaner inside to basically get rid of everything that's in them. It's an absolute fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
Is it
we're looking at buying a cask washer in the next couple of weeks, because we can't do these volumes the way that
buy a steam cleaner as well, Liam.
There, and it nearly killed us. Yeah, it did.
Is it because casks kind of vent more oxygen, so therefore they just get a lot skankier than?
No, it's the fact that when they're finished, they're open to the air.
Yeah, they're literally just left outside, especially in the summer. I guess is even worse because they're just left outside, and
and then it all just
shit's gonna climb into it, and it's crusty and fruit flies, all sorts getting in there.
Yeah, it's one of the less glamorous jobs, but a necessity.
Honestly,
keg washing's easier then. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just put a new liner in it.
And I think what makes kegs that much nicer is that they stay sealed.
Yeah.
So when you open it, it's still just a tiny little bit of sludge, but
it's like cornies for us, isn't it? Unless you've taken the lid off, then it's basically it's as clean as it was when you put the beer in, unless there was something like iffy with the beer itself. So you can normally just rinse it out and sanitize it, and it's pretty much all right.
Carbonate and then ditch that after you've left.
Works on a homebrew scale, Andy. It don't work on a commercial scale. That one.
Oh, someone said, Liam, any regrets? At times, absolutely.
When you're
like,
cleaning casks.
Like the story of like last weekend, I was doing that. I'm thinking, why am I doing this to myself? It's like I was just having like a really bad time with it. But there are like times like this where like I just really enjoy doing it. Like I was in here from midday today cleaning it. I really enjoyed it. It like there are times when you do question the decision that you've made, but 90% of the time, I'm really glad that I've done it, because like even if I was to fall flat on my face now and failed, like I'm really proud of like what I've achieved so far, and like and where I've managed to kind of get to, even if in kind of the greater scheme of things, it's really not that far, but I've enjoyed it and I've had fun. So
Liam, I'm going to be honest with you, mate. We've got 37, 38. I think the highest we had was 39 people listening to the live stream.
44 at one point.
Was it 44?
Yeah.
I've not been keeping that close.
That's like probably nearly double, like the top.
Yeah. So
amount we've had before.
We've got a lot of people listening to this live. Okay, I've got to say that I don't care really, like, for numbers, but you're bringing a lot of people to listen to our little podcast because we're talking to you. You've got a lot of people following your brewery, mate, I don't think falling flat on your face is going to happen because you've got a lot of passion.
I hope not. But
No, but you've got a lot of passion. You're clearly producing some banging beers. They're selling well to the pubs. Punters are drinking it. Untapped tells you that you're doing it right. And aside from the fact that you're a Scouser, you've got everything going for you, mate.
you can't always be perfect, can you? Do you know what I mean?
I had to get it in there. But you're clearly doing something fucking right, mate. Do you know what I mean?
People are invested in it, aren't they? It seems.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know,
I think
always a
that's
good thing.
like, I think I've always kind of, from starting the brewery, I've always had the attitude of like, why would anyone care about my brewery? And I think kind of people only kind of care when they feel invested. And that's why I've always been very conscious of posting a lot on Instagram, posting more so recently like on YouTube.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And stuff, because I mean, let's face it, like you could have the best beer in the world, but unless, of course, like you're throwing it out there and constantly like shoving it in people's faces, it doesn't really like mean too much. So kind of I was like, no matter what I do, like I'll just try and push it and share it. I mean, it's not even just about growing the brewery. It was like when I was starting this journey of trying to build up Sun Bear Brewing, there is very little places you can go to online that goes, okay, this is my step-by-step of what I've done. This is exactly what you need to do. And no one's really done that. So that was one of kind of the first initial reasons for me starting up the brewery and kind of going into detail about like one of my first videos was just talking for like half an hour about a HMRC sheet.
That's right.
And how I filled it out. And I thought, okay, it's not going to get views, but there'll be someone like me somewhere
That will get views.
Who would appreciate it.
Yeah.
So and then the knock-on effect of kind of starting that YouTube channel is the amount of people who have messaged me saying, do you know what, Liam, thank you so much for like your YouTube channel. Like it's helped me so much. I'm actually struggling a little bit with this thing. What are your thoughts? Or do you know, like, I think when you kind of put yourself out there, kind of like-minded people kind of end up connecting with you, very much like this. It's like if it wasn't for going to BrewCon or and just going up to you guys and having a chat and having a beer, it's like I probably might not even be here on this chat now. It's just yeah, sharing's caring, and it just seems to do everyone the world of good, really, doesn't it?
I'll be honest with you, mate. I think
Yeah,
one of the things that's really got me is you're an incredibly passionate person when it comes to this brewing journey, and you clearly have more sort of time and energy than sense, because you've gone. Yeah, I mean it's harsh, but it's true. I think you've gone down this route of like, I'm going to document absolutely fucking everything, and you're going to get people to guide them in their journey, and exactly the same as what we're doing essentially, which is we don't want you to make the same fuck ups we have.
Yes.
If you want to guide people through stuff, just don't make the same fucking mistakes that we have, because it's no bueno. And to be fair, it's gonna assist a few people. And I've said it a million times, if what we do on this podcast helps one person improve their beer by 1%, then everything that we've done is worthwhile. And if what you're doing by posting the videos that you're posting helps one person to make their journey into running a microbrewery or a nanobrewery or whatever you want to call it, if it makes it 10% easier, then what you've done is absolutely worthwhile.
Oh yeah, 1,000,000%. As I say, like, this industry it's not about making money, or it's just we're all obsessed with beer and we all love brewing, and we're all just there to help each other and just to support each other. Like, and that's what I love about it. There's no other real industry like that.
No.
Whereas like if a brewery opened up next door to this house I wouldn't be going, oh Jesus Christ, there's competition. I'd be like going, oh my God, this is amazing. Like we can do so many collabs, and like we could do this, that, or like if I was short of something, I could probably just go next door and grab it off them, because you absolutely can do that. The amount of times I've had to run over to Liverpool.
Like, don't buy a brew kit, just use mine, and then we'll use the tanks in your room or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like the amount of times I've ran over to Liverpool to other breweries because I've realised I'm out of caustic, and I've forgot to order some, and so I've rang a brewer up and gone, oh, any chance I can borrow like 3 litres? He was like, oh yeah, just come. Or when I first got this kit, I needed some brewery connections, and I just didn't have any, and I was meant to brew the following day, so I didn't have time to order. So I just ran over, and he was like, this is all I've got. This is like a box of bits, like rummage through it, take what you like, and just bring it back when you can.
Yeah.
So it's just really, really lovely. And
because did you not end up stealing bits off the washing machine or something like that to hook up the glycol or something like that? Was that a washing machine?
Oh God, no, worse. I just went to B&Q and bought the bits and attached them to me fermenter. But it works.
Yeah, it does.
No complaints.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. So, we've moved past cleaning because that is 90% of your job as a brewer. Just give us a little bit of insight, because it's one of the things that people don't generally appreciate, is things like the recipe scaling and the difference between doing a homebrew batch and doing a commercial batch at, as you said, 300 litres.
Yeah. Well, probably the most obvious is time. And time has obviously a big impact at the various steps. So because of like how long it takes to like transfer from the kettle to the fermenter, usually on a grain father, you'll just cool it quite quickly through the water chiller down to like 80 degrees. You'll throw your whirlpool in, you leave it there for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, and then transfer it across. Now with this, because of the time that it takes, and my water chiller isn't fantastic, or heat exchanger, I ended up just like throwing my whirlpool additions in as I'm transferring, because that takes a good hour and a half. So you get isomerization after like over 82 degrees. So I just cool it down to 80 as quick as I can, and then throw the hops in, and then I can start transferring then. But like just things like that you need to account for. And then something that I've noticed in my beers just from tasting them is, so I've got about 6 kilowatts worth of power in my boil kettle, but like it's just not a vigorous boil at all, and the bitterness is so much softer, even though I thought I'd have the other issue of it probably being too bitter and I might need to reduce it down. I've actually had to end up going a bit the other way and adding a little bit more, just because I really struggle with the heat. So an issue that my dad's got to sort out is increasing the power here, and I want to get some bigger heating elements. I think my dad's watching now.
Three-phase!
Dad, you need a 3-phase 100 amp supply.
Cheers, Dad.
No chance.
That's your problem.
And a better energy supplier for those bills that are coming.
Yeah.
And a fuck ton of solar panels.
No.
So yeah, what else? So yeah, there's bitterness kind of changing with additions. I've kind of cooling down. So typically I don't pitch my yeast the same day that I brew, just because I'd be here way too long. So I ended up transferring the beer over to the tank at about 40 degrees, and then I'll just let the chiller do the rest of the work through the night. Come back in the morning, and then pitch when it's at temperature. That's purely just a method of saving me time, and I've noticed no detrimental effects to the beer at all. I didn't think there would be, and I've done it like almost the past about 10 batches now, and it's been
I do that in
no
the summer
issues.
as well, Liam. Like if I'm
Yeah.
doing like the double batches or whatever, then I'll literally just let the glycol do the rest of it. You get it down as much, and then just chuck it in, and then let the glycol do the rest of the work, like you say.
Yeah, definitely. What beer are we up to, by the way? I'm on root beer still.
Yeah, that's what I'm still drinking.
I'm
finished
empty.
it.
Yeah, mine's
I
gone.
was thinking Sunbear.
I think it's about time we get a Sunbear beer into the glass.
I think
Is it
it's
that
a
time?
porter time.
Is it that
It's a
time?
porter
Is it porter
time.
time?
Okay,
Porter
let's
time.
do this. Porter time, people.
So we're gonna endeavour to do a little bit of an experiment here with Liam's beer.
Are we
Who's
actually
kind
going to do
enough-
the experiment?
Well,
Are we going to do
I'm
it?
going to leave it up to Liam to decide.
Yes, I'll bring it on. I'm
Yeah,
better than Hokum Stomp.
Yeah, are you sure?
But are you better than Imperial Hogan Stomp? That's the
See,
question.
that's what makes it a competition.
That's a difficult comparison, right?
This is a David versus Goliath kind of scenario that we're setting up here, so it's not really fair on Liam, but
I've got 2 glasses at the ready. So, Liam? Why don't you tell us a bit about the beer? I know you mentioned it already. That what you did it as a one-off, and then you've rebrewed it again. So
Yes.
it might be becoming a bit of a, I don't know,
Yeah, a bit
seasonal
yeah.
staple.
I think so. I think it's definitely cemented itself in kind of a semi-permanent lineup that will be brewing here. So Andy kind of looked at kind of like Hokum Stomp. Like to me, that's like the like a top tier porter. Certainly, it was in our opinion. So we kind of took that recipe and then kind of tweaked a few things. I will share the recipe. Let me just get it up.
Did you stick with the Bramlin Cross, or did you venture away from that?
So the one that you're trying now does have Bramlin Cross in. The one that we did a couple of weeks ago actually had a slight touch of Centennial
Oh, interesting.
as well. Throwing that into the mix, I wouldn't say it was necessarily planned. It was just I failed to order the right amount of Bramlin Cross, so we just had to just top it up a little bit with the grain. But yeah, we've got a Carafa Special 3, M Roost from Dingman's, pale chocolate, standard crystal, aromatic malt, rolled oats, amber malt, and the base is extra pale. So quite a lot going on. But I think that's what. So with the first batch, it was pretty much brewed and in cask within about 12 days, I think. And we gave it out to a couple of bars, tried it, it was lovely. But then we gave it to some other bars who kept hold of it a little bit longer. And then we tried it at those bars, and oh my God, it
That
was
was
like,
there.
oh, it was. I mean,
That's sexual.
yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, because 12 days is that's quite a speedy turnaround for a porter.
It is. It's because there was that festival that I spoke about earlier was kind of coming up, so we were kind of in a rush to get that. But
Yeah.
from that experience, we've then the porter that we've just made, that's been in tank for a month,
Nice.
and then we've racked that off yesterday. But yeah, let's dive in.
Oh. It's really super roasty. Oh.
roasty. There's a nice dark fruit note to it as well. I think getting a bit of
Yeah, I think it's a bit like a short gatto.
yeah.
Chocolate
That's,
gatto. It's like the dark chocolate, a bit of coffee, and I think I get quite a strong like cherry. Personally,
yeah,
Yeah.
red berry kind of cherry type. That's really good.
Yeah, stunning, isn't it?
Oh boy.
Yeah, kind of very much like old school English porter base, but
Yeah.
with a little bit of nice fruity hop kind of interest in there as well. Not, fruity in the modern sense, but definitely that kind of berry, dark fruit, deep kind of. I think chocolate. I think you nailed it. To be fair, chocolate gatto kind of like.
Yeah. What kit was that brewed on, Liam? Was that on the B1?
So what you're drinking now was brewed on the Brutals
Yeah.
system. I think it was probably like the last batch that we did.
Yeah.
And we did a oh my god, what's it called? Where you mash and then you remove the grains and you put a load of reiterated mash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did a reiterated mash on this one.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the ABV? You might have said this already on this one.
It was 5.6.
5.6.
Yeah, I want to say
Okay.
5.6.
Yeah.
I didn't even give you as a label. How lazy.
It drinks like a bit bigger than that, I think,
You're
for me.
total classic homebrewer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think
Brett,
it's
it's like
thinking
Brett
about
with the colours
5.6%.
on the top.
Yeah, I've got a
Could be-
feeling this is maybe more in the 6
Could be
to
anywhere
7%
between
range.
5 and 18%. I get like a really lovely honey note from it, like a
Oh, yeah.
honey caramel note.
Yeah, it's just like the
Almost.
sweetness.
Yeah, it's almost like a Black Forest Gatto with a nice caramel sauce on it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
I
Smells gorgeous. I haven't even.
I
drunk
get
it yet.
straight cherry. It's like cherry. It just tastes like cherry.
Update
It's
from Andy
lovely.
in the chat. It is, in fact, 6.1%. I'm on to you, Liam.
You sucked us in.
The one thing that I will say about this beer is it drinks exactly where it is. I've not been listening to what was said. I was changing over my headphones. I've gone for wireless. It drinks exactly like where it is. It's 6%. It tastes like 6%. The alcohol's hidden really well. Okay.
It's actually it's going down very quick.
Yeah,
Which is
well,
an
it's
issue.
very drinkable, but still like big body on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full flavoured. Yeah.
It's a thick beer, but only with 2 C's. That's what I will say. It's a great beer, and I'm getting the coffee, I'm getting the aromatic, I'm getting quite a lot of the amber, I'm getting quite a lot of the malts, which I'm really enjoying. I love a malt forward beer, but I'm getting this overriding cherry flavour, which is pleasing me greatly. I'm liking it. I'm getting a touch of hedgerow. I'm getting kind of a
What's
it's like black currant, kind of on the exhale. I'm getting quite a lot of that like black currant flavour.
Yeah, I get that. I think as soon as I
gorgeous,
thought like chocolate gatto, like that's it. That's all I could think about then when I was drinking it. But yeah,
Is there any lactose or anything in this?
no.
Maybe try some.
Well, so we've tried to like the idea kind of. I haven't really spoke about this yet, but like I'm completely against kind of like brewing aids.
Yes, Mark.
And what's that? Chris,
just a comment, yeah.
Everybody's giving me shit now. I like impies.
Yeah. So like, I feel like people. I'm 28 now, but people my age, people younger, I've noticed there's a big shift and like people just aren't drinking. People are becoming very aware of like what they're putting into their bodies.
Yes.
And I feel like that's a direction the beer industry should be going. So, Chris, shaking your head.
It's true.
People
though.
should
I
be aware
don't
of what putting into their bodies, but for fuck's sake, put some good shit in it as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, but also all I'm saying is the direction I want to take with this brewery is I don't want to add finding agents, and I don't. I don't have anything to drop the beer bright. I keep beer as beer.
And that's what you should do.
And that's the kind of what I'm trying to do carrying forward. Like on my badges, it says unfined, unfiltered. And I feel like, to be fair, I've only had one bar come back to me going, "Oh, the Sun Bear Pale, that's a little bit hazy. I think it's off." I've gone, "No, it's not off. It's absolutely fine. It's meant to be like that."
That's the only downside with the traditional cask drinkers, isn't it? It's like you struggle with
but then like you say that and you would have thought camera like would be probably on my case more than anyone else, but in fact camera have been the complete opposite.
Yeah.
When I first released the beer, they had a representative come to the bar, try my beer out. I sat with him, had a really good conversation with him. I think next week or the week after, I'm going to be in like the Wirral camera magazine thing, and all the camera events. I'm now getting my beers sold there, even though it's basically
poster boy.
Yeah, even though it's essentially not real. I suppose not real cask. Obviously it is, but
it is. You are doing real cask. That's the thing. Yeah,
it's not just like super bright and fine and all
like
that.
Fish guts.
Yeah, no fish guts in my beer.
Yep.
Oh, really? Your methodology there is more true to the camera way than people who are putting all sorts of other shit in it to make it drop bright. So
Yeah, true. But oddly, it's the camera.
Live,
beers.
natural, unfiltered beer is really kind of like the truest expression of cask that there is. Surely, you would think.
Oh yeah.
But there's expectations for people of a certain generation as to what that should be, isn't there? So
Yeah.
Well, that generation are dying very quickly. So the newer generation.
And that's why camera membership is shrinking by the minute.
I don't mean to sound blunt when I say that, but the people who drink I like bitter. I like it the way that I like it. I like it to be. They're all they're coming to the end of their time on this earth.
Well, no, and that's people of a certain age will be very dogmatic when it comes to it must be this, that, and that for it to be legitimate. And it's like, well, no, actually, there's subtleties to this that you don't understand because you're not an actual fucking brewer. So what are you talking about?
But now we're getting to the point where beer tastes are changing, and like Liam said, people are not wanting things added into their beer.
Not even know it, right? So
no, they're not.
They did.
They're not.
They did. People got on
Andy,
it.
they're not.
They got on it during lockdown, and see this. I think this year we've seen a real change, myself included. The people going, actually, I'm going to get fit. I want a health kick, sort of thing.
But there's a difference between being fit and being healthy, and people don't understand that. There is a massive fucking difference.
I think people.
It's pretty closely linked, to be fair.
It is, but there is a fucking difference between it. I'm not trying to diss people who are fit. I'm not dissing people who do exercise. I'm not dissing people who look at what they put into their body. Absolutely, you should do that. Because there are things out there that are fucking bad for you and you should avoid them. But the most important thing comes down to this. There has to be a balance. Because I ain't eating fucking quinoa every day. Right? You have to look at these things as, if you do this and you are fit and you are exercising and you are doing this, then you should also be able to do that. Because life is about balance. And that is the way that everybody has always done it. That's an important thing to remember. I take vitamins. Right? I take... Fuck off, Brooksy. I take vitamins. I take supplements. I take things like that. And I do these things. And I look after myself. And I know... Yeah, whatever. And I do these things to look after myself and make sure that the things that I'm putting into my body are home cooked, that they're legit. I'm not taking...
You've given loads of good advice, Chris, to be fair.
But all of these things have to be taken... There has to be a balance in things. And that is the single most important thing.
No. Exactly. You need to have your weekends. Come on.
All right. Jim Fit. He used to run fucking God knows how many miles a day. And he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran and he jogged and he did this. And he dropped dead of a heart attack whilst he was running. Exactly. Seriously, there has to be... You have to have both sides of the aisle.
Well, there's extremes of everything, isn't there? Like, there's that guy
Exactly.
on fucking YouTube who's like trying to live forever or whatever, and
Oh,
I've watched
yeah.
there's a documentary on Netflix about him, and it's like his whole existence is basically like I've got to measure down to the point whatever of a gram of exactly what I'm eating every
his-
morning,
that
and his
existence-
meals are like food out of like little, it's like bizarre, and and it's like, well, like.
Which, stop
If
trying to cheat
that's
death.
what you
Death's
want
coming.
to, if that's what you have to do to try and add a few more years, I'd rather fucking die
Yeah.
tomorrow. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
if
If
fuck
you want to
that.
live
The
forever,
irony
go
there-
for it.
The
Yeah.
irony there is the fact that he's effectively a guinea pig, right?
Yeah.
And he's putting his body through something that no human has ever done before, and it's more than likely that he's going to get an adverse effect because
Yeah.
Possibly.
if you take a mouse and stick it in a chamber of much higher carbon dioxide to oxygen ratio, it's probably going to die because it's not used to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's like, well, if I do this, I'm going to live until I'm 250. You're like, you're probably not.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. The last 150 years, you're going to be in a bed shitting yourself, so give up.
See this beer, right? I think I've got it. It's not. What was it? We're talking about the Black Forest Gateau. I think it's a crunchy bar. It's like chocolate and that sort of
Is this
honeycomb
Liam's beer?
caramel.
Well, yeah, let's bring it back to the
Yeah.
competition between
I'll-
these
I'll-
two beers.
I'll-
'Cause
to the beer.
Open
The
I'm just
Hokum
getting-
Stomp. I mean, I've got to
I'm
say
getting
one thing,
crunchy bar.
Liam. Your one is winning on head retention by about a fucking country mile.
I haven't
'cause,
even
like,
opened the Hokum.
Oh,
Are we opening the
Hokum.
Hokum?
The
Look
Hokum
at that.
had no head retention at all.
I mean, it literally. I poured it in, and it looked a little bit like weirdly fizzy when it went into the glass, and then the
It
head
did.
just went
So
Yeah,
hard
and
mine's
pour
dropped
it.
straight
Mine's still
away.
around.
Oh my God,
Um,
that is engine oil.
So
It is onion oil.
it's a nice aroma.
I'll hard
Um,
pour it.
it's not.
Which beer
I was
are you-
expecting it to be more like potent, kind of.
Watch this, Andy. Put it on camera. The head
Yeah, yeah.
retention. Put it on camera. Literally.
Unless we
gonna
just
go,
both
it's
had-
gonna go.
Unless we both just had filthy glasses, and he's got like a. It's gonna stick around for the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. But no,
Mine-
I had to severely hard pour that to get that head on it.
Yeah, I didn't hard pour mine, but
You've just ruined our version of events there, Andy. Fuck's sake, what you do?
It's no the head. Now I've taken a drink, it's starting to pop.
mine literally was like it was like dark
Do you
red,
know what? Liam's is better.
and then the Hokum is like it's a different beer.
Damn it! I'll have to get the brutal system back now, Andy. We've got to
no,
do
no,
the
no,
reiterated
no,
match
it-
again.
That's you can taste. See, Liam's has got the all the fruits. See that cherry fruit thing that we were talking about that dominates. That's the winner. That's what's singing in that now compared to the.
Unfortunately, the Daya has gone a little bit too far on the roasted malt. to the
Yeah,
point
I
of
thought that.
a little bit of ashtray,
Smoky and
a little bit smoky,
Yeah.
a little bit ashtray.
I think you get that
Yeah.
on the nose as well, don't you? There's just a little, hint of smoky leather to it that's not.
Yeah, it's not got the same fruit.
It's not as appealing as Liam's.
I'm saying
think,
that. My opinion isn't valid in this comp, but
Wait, Liam, you got both. So what do you think?
I don't think it's.
Who's better? Do you think yours or
Mate.
theirs?
You're.
It's not a fair competition because they're kind of
Yeah,
like
I
two
know.
different
It's like
things.
you've got an
I'm gonna say
imperial.
it
You
right
can
now.
never
But-
have a pint of
but
it.
just purely
have
as
a
a
pint on
like,
it.
what would I rather drink right now? Like as a literally just mouthful versus mouthful. I like your beer better, so like that's it's not
that-
trying to
Yeah,
it's not trying to blow smoke up your arse or anything. It's just as a literally,
It's-
if you
it's
didn't
that
know
sort of-
what if you didn't know that was an impy, you didn't know that was a slightly lower strength porter, and you just went, which one do I prefer? I'd go, I want that one. So
100%.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that because you're on the podcast, Liam. Like,
Yeah.
the aroma off yours is
Mega.
400% better than the day a bit.
Guys,
Yeah,
I paid you 20 quid for these compliments, but you're overselling it now. Right.
Wait, that
No,
day a beer,
no.
the aroma smells a bit like when my dog's been out on the mud flat near the river.
There actually isn't even much of an aroma.
It's
Oh,
kind of
there
an
is. You've got it's like coffee thing.
earthy sort of burnt smell.
Yeah. Whereas you get a lot of that. Is it the Bramlin? I take it then.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
You're getting bags of that on your
I'm
nose.
finishing yours for sure. The rest of that's going in.
I don't have the batch on time, but I know in the whirlpool we did throw quite a lot of Bramlin Crossing.
Yeah.
Andy might be
And
able
it's
to. I don't know if
mad-
Andy's
it's
got
mad
to see it.
how-
I think
how
the
much
Bramlin
comes
Cross
in-
is definitely coming through on that
Yeah,
big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pure berry.
That's such a great hop. It's such a
Yeah.
great hop when combined
For dark
with
beers,
dark
man,
malt.
Oh,
as well. Just
Yeah,
like
it's works an absolute treat.
always
Anything-
works well.
Even in lighter beers where you use a bit of sweetness, I think sweetness and Bramlin Cross just brought together. It just works really nicely.
Who did we have in the pod and they were saying how Bramlin Cross is like
Moot.
Yeah,
was it
Moot,
And
Moot
they
were
were saying
into
that the
it.
cost but the cost of Bramlin Cross is went through the roof because the amount of
The
people are now
demand.
using it. Yeah. I don't know if it's a malt miller or what, but someone was telling us that
Well, I
Bramlin
imagine it's
Cross
not
is-
like a massive amount of acreage
Used
of
to be
that,
dead
like
cheap.
in the UK going on, and
yeah, it used
maybe
to be
it's
dead cheap
getting
to
picked
use,
up
and
by a few
now
breweries
it's
now,
like,
so-
yeah, it is a
Might
great
well-
hop.
Might well be that they're producing a lot more of it now. You know, it
Hopefully.
used to be EKG and Puggles, and you know now flavours changing.
Well,
People might be-
Bramlin's just
Right,
great.
Bramlin Cross, give me more of that.
Yeah,
It's a great hop.
yeah.
I have to
Lovely.
say, of the
Lovely.
two, of the Imperial Hokum Stomp and of the beer that Liam sent us, I have to say I prefer Liam's.
We just all said that, Chris, when you
We
were
were
away
just
for a
saying
bunch.
that, yeah.
I wasn't listening. I had
yeah,
hardcore German techno going into my head.
All right, okay.
So yeah, it was absolutely Liam's beer is a far superior beer, and I'll be
I
honest,
agree.
that Daya beer is probably gonna try and kill off the cheese plant.
We were all
they've
thinking-
it'll
they
get drunk.
fucked up.
But
No, they fucked
Yeah.
up when they brewed it.
I'm not. I mean,
it's
the original Hokum Stomp is all right, but to be honest, we
No, it's better
went through
than
it. We
alright.
went through a point where everyone was brewing
Hokum.
Hokum
'Cause it's
Stomp, and
beast,
the
it was
recipe
great
was
beer.
amazing, and everyone was knocking
Yeah.
up really good beers.
Real good.
And I
hop,
did, even at that point, I did kind of find the actual Hokum Stomp a bit underwhelming compared to a lot of the homebrew versions that I tried.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm only
The best one that I tried was Graham's.
the home
Yeah.
brews,
I don't,
homebrew
I'm not saying
recipe's
it's a
insane.
bad. Their one is a bad beer, and obviously the recipe that they provided is outstanding.
Yeah.
But
It's it's
like, for-
Graham's version of it was fucking
for whatever
far
reason,
superior,
like
if you ask
everyone,
me.
all the homebrew beers I did were that I tried, because I think we did it on one of those live brew days, didn't we? So a lot of people
Did
were sending
we?
them back and forth.
during the
This was a
lockdown.
long time ago, but
yeah.
there was a lot of beers
it.
exchanged, and
It was
yeah,
it was
generally
amazing.
speaking, the homebrew versions were a bit
banging.
more exciting than the actual brewery one. So I'm not a massive fan of this Imperial version of it, I've got to say.
I'm not going to
I
be
really
disappointed.
Like, this Liam's one's amazing.
I'm not going to be
Yep.
disappointed if somebody gives me the original Hokum Stomp and they give it to me on cask.
That's why
I'm fairly sure that'd be a beautiful beer. But I have
think
to say,
that's-
this one from Liam's is fucking
Oh,
banging.
See, I can see why people would be like, "Oh, can we get a cask of that, please?" Because it's actually got that proper juicy, crazy. Like it's just like that's what's pulling me in. This is
But more than that,
of it
Andy,
as well.
yeah, absolutely. Drinkability
And
150%.
it pulls me back in for another sip, and then I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I'll ever be able to get another glass of that.
So Liam,
No.
Liam, I think it's pretty clear to say that we prefer yours to Daya's.
yeah.
Only just though.
No,
No,
it's
no,
like,
no,
it's them
mate, no.
close.
No. I've
It's
got
like-
half a bottle left here and it's going in the glass.
Yeah, I've done the same thing. I would say that Day beer is. I've got a sneaking suspicion what they did was just took Coke and Stomp and doubled it,
That's what it smells like.
and I don't think that was the right thing to do,
Mm,
and I don't think that they tested it before
No.
they released it, because that is not Coke and Stomp.
No.
That is an entirely different beer, and as an imperial stout, not a particularly good one.
Or even an Imperial Porter. It's not a good one at all. It's not a good beer.
nah, sadly. It's like Tricky says, it'll probably get drunk. It's through the night, but yeah.
I'm impressed. Daya even let that out the door, to be honest.
It may make it. I may drink half of it through the after party, but I'll be
Do you know-
honest, I'm not going to drink that one.
I
On
bet you if
purpose.
we drank that in isolation, we went, it's okay. It's the problem is we've just put it up against Liam's, and it's like, no, I'd rather drink Liam's.
Yep.
That's true.
Liam's just like,
Genuine.
yes.
Honestly,
I'll take
going
it.
into-
I'll take it.
Going into
complaints
this,
here.
going
No
into
complaints
this,
here,
I
thank
was
you.
like, Liam,
Aroma.
are you sure? Are you sure you want us to
Yep.
compare your beer to a
Yeah,
Daya
commercial,
Imperial Stout?
yeah,
Are you sure
exactly.
you want us to do that? And then,
Yeah.
And
and
it's
then
like, what? Okay, yeah.
There you go.
So.
I'll be honest with you, Liam. When I cracked both of them together, it was like Demetrius Johnson going up against that guy at the jiu-jitsu competition who weighed 150 pounds more than him. And I'm thinking,
Oh yeah, yeah, we've all seen that. Yeah.
is that going to happen? And then he hits him with a fucking Bravo and he ends him. And it's like, do you know what?
Chit chat.
There's your gold medal. There's your gold medal, guys. This is far better than this.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Agree.
You know,
mad.
this
Oh,
is
nice one, guys.
this is a
Thank you
fucking
so
banger.
much.
I like it. Get it in cans, you tart.
Brett asked me a question before. Do you miss being able to enter beers into comps, or do you enter them under your neighbour's name? Oh no, so I've got so I've actually been part of a competition, the Beer X competition last year. I was part of training, I was part of the beer competition there, and people's experiences that were judging them were, in some cases, none at all.
Yeah.
So, like, we were sat on tables with a few different people, like some of them, like, qualified judges, and I was in absolute awe of their palate and what they were picking up on, and I thought it was absolutely incredible. But then there was also other people who were just like, oh, so like, what's your experience? And you're like, oh no, I just like beer. And you're like, but this is like
Yeah, it's just
a national
professional.
award.
Yeah.
And then we tried the beer, and I was like, I'm picking up a bit of diacetyl on that. And then they were like, what's diacetyl? And that's what these awards were being judged off of.
Yeah.
And so I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have awards, and don't get me wrong, if a brewery has awards, no doubt it was absolutely deserved. But it just knocked my confidence in competitions a little bit. Yeah. So I was just like, if my beers, so I've not entered a beer competition for a while, and I have no plan on entering my beers into competitions. It's just, I think for me, the reward is
Not even
does
the
it sell
SIBA
well?
competitions.
No.
All the experience I had was at a SIBA competition.
Oh,
That's Beer X, isn't it?
yeah. Beer X is the ultimate SIBA competition. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming from their point of view, like they need so many judges, and maybe they can't get a hold of every single judge that's possible.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, as Mark said, yeah, absolutely. It's like for me, the reward is a bar asking me for another beer, another cask, another keg. Like that's my gold. That's my gold medal.
But that's all it should be at your size.
Yes, absolutely.
So you're you're hitting 9s out of 10 every time, mate. That's all that matters.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need a bunch of dudes in socks and sandals called Brian telling you whether your beer has scored 42 or 43 out of 50 on the BJCP
Yeah, exactly.
guidelines.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It would be absolutely lovely to win awards. It would be even with my opinion. It still would be lovely to win awards, but I'll be honest, it just comes down to packaging bottles again, and as you all know, I can't be arsed doing that.
At least
The
you're
time
honest.
will come, yeah.
You're honest. That's all that matters.
The
Guys,
time will come.
I think that is a really good note on which to end this podcast and move to the after party.
I would agree.
So, I'm going to say, Scabface, can you do the closing statements, please, mate?
Who's Scabface?
That would be you.
Recognise that name.
It's not,
we're gonna
he didn't
call
say
you,
Scarface,
we're
he
gonna
said
call you Maphead.
Scarface.
Yeah, I prefer Scarface to Scabface.
Okay,
to be
we'll
honest.
go
That
with Scarface. We'll go with Scarface. I'm going to
Crack.
set up. I'm
Yeah.
going to set up the after party. Liam, you
I'm
are
gonna just
available
start
to join us
scratching my
for the
face
after
here,
party,
man.
right?
Absolutely. I think
Excellent.
Emily's still on the chat, so if you
Get
could just
Emily
like-
into it. Get Emily into the after party.
Where is she?
Oh yes, mate. She's at home at the minute.
Get your missus into the
Is
after
she
party,
picking
mate.
you up, Liam?
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
It'll be the second time we've had a woman in the after
He's
party.
worried now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
don't do that.
Only the second
And he's going
time.
to start asking me
Only-
more
I think
questions
I've
about
had
how much
more
I've
than
spent.
That's not
Yeah,
true.
well, probably.
We've
You're
had a
banned,
woman
Andy.
in the after party more than 4 times.
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had.
Let's
Alex
face it.
twice.
This is an absolute sausage fest most of the time, this podcast, right?
We've had...
And you will find if your missus joins the after party, everybody will be on their best behaviour. Because if they won't,
Is it-
one of us
Professor
3 or
Ebbo's-
4 will kick them straight out.
Ebbo's
Alright,
is the
So
best.
she's here waiting to pick me up. Oh, bloody hell.
Is that what it is? Oh no, you got to come on, Emily. Join the after party. It's going to be great. Right,
Yes.
I'll set it up. Somebody
It
else
was-
do the
it was
closing
Ebbo's-
statement.
Ebbo's wife was the best in the after party.
That's true. She did
Yeah,
say that
she
she
was-
enjoyed being bought a Hoover.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
cheers
right.
for all the lovely comments, guys. Thank you.
All right,
Mate,
guys.
you're doing a banging job.
Absolutely welcome. I think Tricky's going to close us out.
I'm trying. So that was episode 109 in the bag. Thank you very much, Liam from Sun Bear Brewing. Guys, make sure you go over to Liam's YouTube channel, Sun Bear Brewing, and you can follow him on Instagram as well to keep up to date with what he is doing, because you do a great job in keeping people, updated on your journey, Liam, and it's really cool thing to watch. Terrifying at times as well, but also cool to follow along with the journey and see exactly what this whole moving into professional brewing from the home brewer kind of scenario looks like in reality. And best of luck, because it looks
thank you very much.
fucking hard. So
Terrific.
but
Just do it at the garage,
but it's a great job, anyway. So anyway, jump on the after party if you want to come and chat and ask Liam some questions afterwards as well. And we'll see you on the next episode. Thanks
you so
everyone.
much,
Say
guys.
goodbye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Adios.
See you next
Bye
time.
con Dios, amigos.
Hey, Dora.
Hold the door.
That's goodbye in Swedish.
I thought you were saying hold the door.
Hold on.
No, I just see me brother's watching, and he's in Sweden.
Ah, nice.
He lives there, so.
Right, one thing I want to
go
say
up.
is,
still
guys, thanks for joining us. Tricky's already done the next bit. Hit us up in the after party. Any questions that you have for Liam, you can hit him up in the after party. This has been amazing. One of the best podcasts we've done for a very long time. Liam, you're a superstar, even though you're a Scouser. Everything else is amazing. Guys, fuck off if you're a Spurs fan. 4-0. Everything else, let's go. Let's get us in there. Let's do this. Bye.
Bye.
Right.
Liam, do not leave this chat.
Okay.